So yesterday, 3 out of my 6 patients asked me, how do I improve my anxiety without taking medication? And thinking about that is a common question I get, and anxiety is a pervasive symptom. I'm going to call it a symptom in our society. It's not necessarily a diagnosis. And the reasons for that are many. We all have many different forces pulling on us, from to work to friends and spouses and children and our finances. And it never seems like there's enough time in the day to get everything done. And it does seem like there's a lot to worry about. However, there are definite symptoms that you can see related to anxiety, or reasons for that anxiety in the body, and there are ways to mitigate it without taking meds. So when we are anxious, we go into a state of high alert. So if we are worried about something or perseverating about something, that sends signals from the brain to the adrenal gland to make adrenaline, which is a fight or flight hormone. When our adrenaline is produced, it raises our blood pressure, it raises our heart rate, it diverts blood flow to our muscles, so we're ready for action. But what it does is it shuts down our ability to think and reason well. We're gonna be in react mode, not let me calmly think about this mode. It turns off our digestive function, reproductive function. So anxiety can have a lot of negative consequences in terms of gut health and not being able to digest our food or absorb the food properly. It can have negative reproductive consequences. It's probably one of the biggest undiagnosed reasons for infertility. It can have negative effects on our sleep. So it's really important to think about ways to calm down that anxiety. One of the things that can be very helpful is to use meditation, deep breathing, yoga, a lot of the calming, what people call foo-foo kind of things, but they really work. And when done over time, it doesn't even have to be a long time every day. Spend 5 or 10 minutes doing guided meditations or relaxation exercises, deep breathing or yoga, and we know that has a calming effect on anxiety. Of course, getting to the root of that anxiety, if there was some post-traumatic stress or event that happened that triggered the anxiety, doing different forms of therapy, not necessarily just talk therapy, can be very effective. One of the things that's worked well for a lot of my patients is something called EMDR, which is a specific technique to reprogram the brain around those events that cause anxiety. And then finally, sleep can be a big help to anxiety. What many people don't know is that when we sleep, we go through different stages. And there's a specific stage of sleep called REM sleep, which is also known as dream sleep, where the body processes a lot of our emotions throughout the day. So if you're not getting enough REM sleep, or you're not able to get into the dream state of sleep, you don't process that anxiety. So it can build on itself from day to day. We all know that when we haven't slept well, the next day, anything that happens seems to trigger us a lot more, or make us upset or emotional or anxious or irritable. So sleep is so important in, I almost call it detoxing that anxiety out of our body, and that alone can be very helpful. Finally, you can also use various herbs and supplements to help with sleep. And a lot of the choice of those herbs and supplements depends upon the reasons that the anxiety exists, or if there are deficiencies in the body. But some things to try are things like melatonin and magnesium, valerian root, ashwagandha. There are many different herbs that can be helpful for sleep.